Clid and Faker pulled Humanoid into the flash for him. So now Faker is pretty much safe unless Xerxes flashes on him. So they just have to spot Xerxes. Once he spots Xerxes, he knows he will be safe from any gank. Clid, he spots Xerxes on the top ward by Krugs, so he instantly goes and invades into the bot river after doing Krugs to get some vision. Now he's going to start rotating towards top side because that's where his next camps are going to be. Renekton bases, so he has time to clear camps while Renekton comes back to lane. He won't be level 6 though. Duo comes back. The wave is starting to push out, so they want to clear this very quickly if they can. That's why you see him flaying the wave. So they get the push, great. Now they can back off, and they scout. Splice in return, looks for Infernal. Faker comes back from his base, he doesn't have priority. Clid already accepted that they don't want to fight for bot priority because, I mean, technically he could approach from mid with Faker's push, and their duo would be able to move through the river. And they could try to contest Splice in the bot river with that priority. Also, they do have TP advantage, which is pretty nice. But in their eyes, the way they're looking at it, the current map state is, okay, if we try to fuck with this, we're not going to have movement first. I mean, he would have to start it for after wolves, right? Yeah, he would have to peel off wolves and then rotate over now, and he'd be moving by Faker, approaching through mid. But Nautilus would have move first from base while Kaisa collects. Is this I don't think this is uncontestable, especially because Renekton has TP. Yeah, I think it's doable, but he's actively avoiding Rek'Sai. So let's just say, okay, Faker pulls. So he starts Dragon, and they already knew that they gave up this priority over Dragon, so he could steal the red. He knows Krugs and Raptors are not going to be up for Xerxes, so there's that play's not available for him. But Renekton is able to cut the wave because he knows their bot side. Cuts the wave, disappears, and this gives them a movement towards mid, which Humanoid doesn't read. They just walk over, kill him, back off. Renekton ulti, super big waste. Like, didn't have to ulti, but whatever, you know. They should only used one ult overall. Kill him, deny wave, Faker gets a bit of a lead. And then, because he knows the timing of Krugs, he goes top, and now he starts stealing Krugs, and Retaliation, bot lane, which has priority on their own, invades and gets a ward. So Clid's basically SKT give up Infernal to take Splice's red. Conclid, dive mid to get a kill. Plus deny wave to Humanoid. Infernal was contestable with Con TP on. So Clid comes top. They try to gank him. He doesn't have ulti, and Renekton doesn't have ulti. So in my eyes, basically what they did is they just didn't respect the fact that they already used big CDs. And they also didn't think about how Xerxes is going to return towards top to check on what's happening. Because, you know, the first thing he's going to check is... Well, I mean, he knows his red's already gone because he saw Clid have red. Actually, no, red would have lasted long enough. So he doesn't know if his red's gone or not yet. So he wants to check on his red. He knows his Krugs are going to be back up. And he knows Ornn... Actually, Ornn's wave is even. So it's not like Ornn's in trouble, but he knows his camps are most likely being stolen. And then because of the ulti difference, yeah, they get screwed. Yeah. SKT don't respect top gank without ultimates. End up getting... Yeah, like that's just like a clear fucking bonehead move by them. So now he's giving blue, and now he's doing a pathing towards bot side. He knows his Draven needs to net a kill. So Renekton is trying to hit Shojin, so he's kind of like chilling out for Shojin. Also, they want to burn Rise Flash with the Zero Shuffle if they can, which requires Clid to literally be near there to commit to this. They also need to have some vision on Xerxes when they commit this play, because if Faker goes in and they flash, Rek'Sai can just show up, and Humanoid can just freeze Faker in front of him, and Faker's in trouble. So there you go. He committed. They got it. Perfect. So, like, 9:45. SKT opt clear towards bot, waiting for Renekton Shojin by to re-approach top. Plus, no, all the camps on top side are already taken by Splice. And then also the further push into this is gank mid, burn Rises Flash with a Zero Shuffle. Like, this was very good. Now can approach later. So good, like, you know, you did one of your, like, one of the few things you can actually even do in this game, which is burn Rise Flash for a Zero Shuffle and then look for a regank. Finally, for the most part, it's been pretty safe. I mean, they haven't really exposed themselves. I don't think they've really exposed themselves. I mean, I think they've just been getting shoved in all game. I don't think Splice has tried to pull this. Yeah, that Splice hasn't really tried to pull this wave at all to pressure a gank by Xerxes. So he still has Krugs. He knows Xerxes is going to be on bot side naturally because of what happened. No wave pushes. You know, they each got their base. Lantern to pull him. Kind of weird. Dragon's up in 2 minutes. The Infernal, they know they want to do Infernal, that's for sure. They have to contest second Infernal no matter what. Krugs, at this point, this wave endangers them a little bit. Did they have vision of where Rek'Sai went? No, not really. So technically they could be approached by Rek'Sai, which would be problematic. So we'll see if Clid just gives them cover. Yeah, he's just gonna make sure to give them like partial cover. bases Xerxes, on the other hand, knowing that they're going to be exposed a bit, those splices duo backs up a lot, like a lot. Which means they're giving more respect to that, and I can't really tell if they're baiting, because they would try to be exposing themselves to trades to create a gank situation. So I think the reason why Klid doesn't even approach this in the first place, as much as the, as you'd expect, like there being a possible gank by Xerxes, I mean, look where they are. Like they're all the way by their tower. If they're that far back, then they're not getting a gank. And if they are getting a gank, then I doubt it works, because they're going to be so far off and they're going to have to flash, and they're just going to flash for flash, and you're going to waste a lot of time as Xerxes. So Klid doesn't walk all the way. You know, he backs early because of that. Xerxes, I assume Xerxes, it gives some, well, he knows Klid did top the pot with the gank mid in between. And they're playing off. When did Humanoid get his last base? So Humanoid hasn't based yet. And he skips his base timing to do a roam. Okay, so he skips his base to do this roam, which means it's going to open up SKT for a chance to do a roam. They end up sending Mata all the way up here too, huh? Knowing that Humanoid has the base, but Humanoid has TP. Rek'Sai doesn't have the base. He's sitting on Warrior right now. Draven ends up getting the push because both supports left. Khan can't be up top for at least another 25 seconds. Do they approach this? They have. Yeah, he already TP'd back. It seems like they're going to give it, though. It's not enough time, I guess. Not enough time. And they wanted to get their resets back on the map. And Infernal's coming up, which is huge. So, in their eyes, they're fine giving up the Herald, which in that's 320 gold, right? 320 gold for plates. And a possible snowball in the tower. But Infernal is going to give you way more in terms of gold value for all your items, and 3 of these champions on their team can benefit greatly from it. You know, Ryze gets a shit ton of AP, shit ton of 80 plus AP for Kai'Sa, and Rek'Sai. This helps Rek'Sai be Rek'Sai more. So Ornn reapproaches, he has TP. Khan does not. So from the get-go, this fight is going to be impossible for SKT to approach on Dragon if Khan does not have the push and Khan's not rotating down. Also, keep in mind, even though Faker should have tempo on the map over Ryze, Ryze did have TP, so that's kind of negated as well. So they start it, and they opt to give it up completely because of the Ornn TP difference. Wow. Technically, after doing Herald, Cotton could have just gone straight to Dragon with the rest of the team and look to pressure the Dragon and have Herald set Herald mid, push in with Herald, and then rotate into Dragon. They don't do that. They commit to top instead, and they give up 2 Infernals for free. But when both of them were actually kind of contestable, yikes. That's not worth it. It's gold now for SKT, for gold later for Splice. It's like, it's not bad. It's not that bad. Let's convert temple on the map into Herald. Opt to not contest second infernal, which actually it should be its own thing. Unto Khan, top tower to allow purchase of Shojin. Now SKT's entire entrance into mid-game will revolve around Khan. Got him. He's not keeping track of Shuffle CD, I guess. He should know it's back up. He should know it's dangerous. And he doesn't know where Clid is. Though I do understand that Clid hasn't taken his base yet. He's been on the map for quite a while. So I can kind of see why Humanoid didn't think that would happen. I gotta go back a little bit. Because Khan returns back towards topside because he sees Ornn. They kill him. They know Clid has the base because Clid stayed on the map for a long time at this point. They still don't have BT for Draven, which puts him low exposed. Ornn just walks all the way down. They know Ornn walked all the way down. He's covering mid, and now he can go and move towards bot. Khan can move towards mid and cover mid, while Faker can move towards bot to assist them. They engage with 3 people, but they have Ornn ult range to actually reach them. Honestly, it's just... It's just because they... I would say it's let's see this. SKT commit to shuffle gameplay again. That kills Humanoid. SKT don't respect the time Clid has stayed on the map without buying. So Splice move into bot dive. SKT are just a tad too slow, killing them, getting Teddy killed. Yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate because you could just walk down and flashed and they've been fine. And yeah, right, then they troll here, right? Because like they're still contesting them for this tower, but plates are gone. So once plates are gone, you just send Faker back mid and you just wait for Teddy to come back bot and take the wave, and Thresh will just hold the wave. So they're just greeting for no purpose, right? Like SKT dying, having more deaths. Bot comes from not just accepting bot tower loss, plus can get farm while Teddy respawns, repush bot out, or goes top to collect. No. Actually, yeah. 3 push spot out while... Or... Collect... Bounced top wave, which is safer for him. While also enabling Khan to be where a tower is. So, what they're doing now, so the top wave bounces, right, for Rise. And Splice back, and they go towards the top to contest the top tower with Nautilus Rek'Sai, whereas Kaisa goes mid to eat farm, and then Orange absorbs whatever happens bot, accepting that he's going to have a CS loss, which is not that big of a deal because he's playing Ornn, right? So, this sucks for Khan. And this just gives a little bit more gold over to Draven, who... I mean, he just needs a kill, honestly. Like, he needs a kill more so than just direct gold. So we see Clid. Naturally, they move into bot jungle themselves. They take whatever they can. Yeah, they take whatever they can. Pressuring the tower. And then SKT's late to approach mid because they were covering the bot. They're covering bot. And unlike Splice's setup where Rise can eat the blue and stay on top side, stay in the side lane, Faker's not the side lane. Faker's the mid lane. So he eats it and then he has to walk all the way back. Splice realizes this and they instantly engage onto them, and SKT doesn't respect it whatsoever, right? Like, SKT has no respect for it, and Norscarin flashes on him, almost kill him, gets him out, but now they lose mid tower because they went for the blue trade. So like 16-0, SKT have Teddy bot because he pushed it out. Faker is covering mid, moving him to eat blue. Lets Splice have full control of mid, plus Busy moved mid since he has no job bot. Almost kill Faker. Get both sums. Wow. While SKT lose mid tower. And that's not good. Okay, so 30 seconds till Infernal. SKT are the first ones to move onto Infernal. Khan has a little bit of time. Khan should have stayed. So this is an error base by Khan. With Infernal coming up in 110, Khan could actually push out these waves. Like, he could push out the next wave because it's gonna crash near his tower, and he would have taken this wave out, and then maybe he does one more or he bases, and then he would at least have a small push going out, and get a little bit more gold influx, and then go towards Dragon. See, Ornn hasn't eaten any farm yet, so for Ornn, staying where he's at is perfectly fine. Also, it's Ornn because he has his passive and he can actually just buy while he's on the map. So Ornn staying up here is good. But they don't want to trade Ornn TP, which I think that's an error. I think letting Ornn push again is perfectly fine because he's going to TP with like 5 seconds left before Dragon spawns. And your team will be fine, right? Like moving with Ornn Nautilus seems perfectly fine into SKT's comp because SKT's comp, they're a weird mix of dive and peel. But like whatever, you know, like Ornn moves, he's here, he's ready to dance. Norskeren goes on to Mata. How does SKT approach this fight? So let's see, they never fixed top wave, and Splice repush bot wave, so they're fine with that. Like, you know, eventually they'll be able to collect bot wave, so not a problem. You know, Mata looks for a hook, nothing. They already don't have a mid wave, so there's no point, like, you're not worried about defending mid whatsoever. I'm actually a little surprised Faker didn't just, I'm kind of surprised Faker didn't just activate a turret. Because the turret will at least hold the wave in this location over here where the coins are. And that would be nice. I mean, the only way for them to get on someone is either Clid flashes or Faker goes in. If Faker goes in, he's instant dead. So Faker can't actually initiate because he doesn't have flash and he doesn't have stopwatch. So all their engage is placed into Clid and Thresh, which is pretty rough. Though they do know Ornn ulti is down. So Thresh hook is down. They have nothing. You want them to come into you basically at this point because Rek'Sai's not that. Like Rek'Sai's really not a huge threat. For your comp at least because you have a lot of ways of actually peeling her. Nautilus is kind of annoying. Especially if he lands a good ulti and then Kai'Sa jumps onto your backline with Rek'Sai, then it could be problematic. But since, I mean, the big thing is that Ornn ulti's not down. So he goes in. Goes in. Azir shuffles right away. Alright, so one big problem is that Faker is standing all the way up here for some odd reason. I mean, he just has to sit here. Like, he's trying to poke, but he only exposes himself really hard. Also, they notice Khan is here, and Khan doesn't have... Khan would have to walk all the way around, or all the way around this way, or flash over. So, Khan's ways of actually fucking with him isn't that good. Also, because of the way Faker positioned, Kabe has really easy access to go onto the backline and sit over here, versus having to be over here when he ulties, so... Yeah, not that great. And I'm actually very surprised that Kabe is not just going on to this, right? Like, maybe he's waiting for the ulti by Faker to come out, and that's why he's, like, waiting a little bit. But I think yeah, Jesus Christ. That's actually so ridiculous that Splice get destroyed in this sense, because I think Faker messes up really hard. Like, look at this, look at this, look at this. Hit, ulti, insta ulti. Like, you're instantly going if you're Kabe. Like, you're gone. And you're on the back line, and Xerxes has flash too. So Xerxes gonna go too. I mean, for God's sake, Xerxes can just fucking run over. He could easily just walked and flashed over if he wanted to as well. And they would have killed him easily. And then Faker's gone without, like look at Kabe. Like, Kabe's stuck by Renekton now. Because of what happened. Ornn just fucking... Ornn just used his E straight into the wall. Vizichachi actually plays this so shit. Like, such shit. Like, you just flash over. Like, if you're Ornn, like, just flash over the wall. Like, just flash over and fuck with them. He doesn't. Norskeren eats all the damage, that's fine. Like, Norskeren did his job, whatever. And Humanoid... What does SKT do? I mean, you have Teddy free hitting. Mata's just kind of chilling. That's actually so fucking disappointing. I actually think Splice had the better approach because of Faker's bad positioning. But we can make note of it. Like, third Infernal finally wise up to contest. Send Khan over right away versus letting him push top out a little. Have control. Control positioning is off, especially Faker. Luckily, Kabe sits in the back the entire time. And Vizzy messes up badly. Clean them out. This is definitely a much worse game macro-wise for them. So, SKT make the swap for Faker on top side, duo mid. Finally, duo's mid. Faker pushes out. All of SKT's vision focuses on top jungle. Splice or Iron bot dive. They clearly know it because everyone's prepped to do this. Khan kind of baits them into it a little bit. Khan E's gets denied the lantern. Skarner pulls Doiscairn and they kill him. Faker's late because Faker was topside. Which in this case, if you're seeing this as Faker, then you're okay with this. And keep in mind, SKT are the ones who are playing defensive here, right? When they see like Splice making these movements, they could push mid tower down and just say fuck it to bot tier 2 because bot tier 2 has no relevance towards SKT's comp, right? Like it's an Ornn split pushing. The only problem that would be Humanoid eventually split pushing in bot lane, but Vizichachi is not an issue for Renekton. So if you see them disappear in the bot jungle, you know, Renekton kind of just chills, and you repush mid. That you move up as these guys. Yes, they technically could realm warp mid with Ornn ulti. I guess that's something you do have to be a little careful of. But it's only a problem if, I mean, they know Vizichachi's bot. They know Vizichachi's still bot. So, and once they clear this, like Faker already has the top push, so you could take mid tier 1 and then just like rotate into top tier 2. So I think in this situation, even it's like SKT opt to defend bot tier 2, which they are 4v5, or could have rotated, or could have kept push for mid tier 1, Khan stays bot, Faker pushes to tier 2 top, rotate to tier 2 top since Splice are all committed towards bot. Bot tier 2 holds 0 relevance for SKT or Splice's comp. Yeah, I think they fucked up. You also could activate Zero Turret in that situation as well. So then SKT would have a Zero Turret sitting in mid as a backup, as a fallback. in case they get caught. Okay, so now they're making their first approach on mid tier 1. And they get it off of... Right now their vision is basically mostly shallow with a few vision in river. Faker rotates early. Ooh, no, he goes back top to reclear. Goes back top to reclear. Runs all the way around, so this time he's not endangering himself. They see Nautilus back. Khan has push. And with Faker being mid, they're 5 strong, so they get mid tower. Dragon's up in 15. Ocean Drake doesn't really hold any relevance. If you're Splice, you wouldn't mind re-clearing it, but Baron's on everyone's eyes, and they don't want to approach Dragon and give up a Baron vision. Because SKT already eyeing that they're willing to give up Dragon to get that vision. So Splice quickly pushed them off, and then Splice just started themselves, knowing that SKT never were able to get vision. And SKT convert this into using Draven to check Baron. They see they're on it. He grabs Nautilus. They kill Nautilus, but Mata also dies. But then Draven also dies because they're all in the corridor. Yeah, see, they're all in the corridor, and Orin just gets a really fat ulti. And finally, Kaisa actually jumps to the backline and just fucks with them, so... Yep. I gotta say, Splice are actually not that bad, though. Like, Splice has done some dumb things, but... it's really not that bad. SKT on Baron defense. Pinks are the name of the game. Keep Fog of War available so you can pressure your hooks into Skarner grabs. Also just trying to push out as many waves as you can safely. Rek'Sai is covering one wave. That's great because Rek'Sai as a pick currently is giga useless. Like, him grouping with the other 4 makes no sense. So whatever Splice's strengths are as a squad is the same essentially even without Rek'Sai. So Rek'Sai's just trying to keep one person stalled. And that's Faker, I guess. They're using Faker instead of Rek'Sai, which is kind of unfortunate. Because Renekton. So Renekton can at least approach the wave, and Rek'Sai can't approach him whatsoever. If you send Faker, Faker can approach the wave in the range matchups like Kaisen and Ryze. And right now he is basically doing nothing, and so, you know, SKT makes the call, okay, we gotta kill this guy. So he goes in, you know, gets the hit. Teddy does not use his E right away. He has E. Huh, where's his E? Oh, he throws it, but he flashes it because it's right here. So he flashes it right away, and that's why it's just a miss. And he doesn't throw it long enough either. In response, Splice dive top, only to get met by Renekton. So Splice tried to counter the play by going top, and nothing happened. So let's go over this. Okay, right away. But they are in a choke. 0.4 Vizichachi. Splice win, fight easily. But then we look at SKT Baron defense, and it's like Faker in wrong lane for dealing with Rek'Sai, but they do push him off. Plus Splice fail the dive top during this time, which leads towards a SKT successful defense. I have way too many notes. Faker's on 2 items, 3 items for Draven, 2 items for Renekton. I mean, Vizichachi has 3 items, which is pretty nutty. And 2 of them are upgraded, so it's like he has basically like 4 items, honestly. He basically is sitting on 4 items as a tank, which makes him extremely difficult to deal with. Ryze is sitting on 3 items, and Void Staff has a ton of pen built into it. Frylize is cheap, but it does help. And you can't Skarner ulti him. And then AD has 4 items. So overall, it's basically 3.5 items Rek'Sai, 4 item Ornn, 3 item Ryze, 4.5 item Kai'Sa. They're way ahead in terms of itemization. The only person who's even remotely close is Draven. So if you're SKT, I mean, the scaling doesn't get better either. That's the big problem, right? Like, Kai'Sa's outscaling, Ryze outscales, Ornn outscales, Rek'Sai. Technically, Rek'Sai outscales Skarner. Skarner's like fucking giga useless later on because he just gets QSS'd, and his entire kit is just dramatically ruined. And you know, Thresh is the other pick that actually moves in, and Faker has stopwatch. Only stopwatch doesn't have Sonya's yet, and he has to go to Sonya's because he has to initiate plays. So it's pretty doomed. It's like a doomed state for them. So if you're SKT, you need to have agency on making another play and trying to find more kills before this gets too late. Oh, sorry, it's 3.5 item Kai'Sa. Sorry. Oh, no, now it's 4.5 item Kai'Sa. Oh, there it is. So they look mid. They give up on bot wave. Kabe is kind of like almost gets picked off. But it kills Clit in the end because Kabe had stopwatch. And that's that. That's the game. Yeah. I mean, the game was fucking doomed at that point, right? Like, the itemization for Splice is just too strong. Like, notice that they couldn't even kill him in that situation. They couldn't even come close to killing him. So, what do I think of this game? I think the big thing was SKT were slow building up their comp. They didn't really outscale at all. So the small advantages they built didn't matter as much. Giving up to Infernals without contest when they could contest. bit them in the ass. What else? Never were able to get Draven rolling because most of the team's focus was placed on giving up Dragon's bot river control to net con money or counter jungle top. Faker's champ is also a lot less versatile along with Draven. Unlike game 1, SKT didn't have a top pick that didn't require grow a bigger lead through independent laning. I mean, they also had a bunch of errors in mid game too, right? Like this shit also was really bad. Teddy plus Faker death post 15 minutes from not respecting Splice's movement towards bot. Plus SKT's decision making in that situation snowballed, put in a much worse spot than before.